Hello, my darlings. I know I've been a while and I'm way behind and I'm aware and I'm sorry. I did just get back from California a couple of days ago, so like I said, I'm extremely behind, but I was pretty jet lagged. I will admit it was a very long trip for me. Very fun. I'm actually going to do a video in a couple, hopefully by tomorrow. I've got some stuff to show you that I got. Gonna give you a little rundown. I'm hopefully even going to insert some of the footage I got from there. Unfortunately, my internet was not great while I was there, so I couldn't do a video because all I had was like my phone, and I didn't think you guys would really appreciate me walking around and being like, hey guys, this is what I'm doing. But anyway, I didn't really exactly have an opportunity to do that anyway. But today I'm catching up with you guys because I had finally a couple hours to myself. So I figured I would go back to the YouTube Pagan challenge because I only did week 1. So forgive me guys, but this is going to be a 2-parter. I'm doing week 2 and week 3, and then I'm going to do another one for week 4 later today. Because I did promise those before I left and I didn't get around to it because I had to pack. And anyway, it's been insane. I've missed you guys though, so let's get back on track together. So week 2's question was, are you in or are you out of the closet? And since I already did an in-depth video about this, I'm just going to do a little rundown, and I'll also include the link to the actual video about the Broom closet for me. If you guys want to check that out, you are more than welcome to. I love it when you guys watch my videos. So the answer is yes and no. And interestingly enough, it's becoming more and more yes in some regard, but it's also becoming more and more no. So let me explain why. I'm feeling more open to myself and the people that I love, so I've come out to more people about my religion and about my practice, and therefore I feel more comfortable just talking about it in general. And here and there I'm actually finding myself, inserting it into conversation, especially when people talk about their own beliefs. I have been trying to, make other people aware that we are out there and that we exist and that we are a truly growing, existent, and wonderful community. But I also say no, as in I'm becoming less in the closet, and that's in regards to my family. Now, I kind of touched on it a little bit, and things have changed over the past couple months, but I have mentioned before that I have Catholics for my parents. My parents are Catholic, but my mother is also very interested in finding her truth, and she therefore is very... It's become more and more clear that she's never going to accept it and she's never going to understand, based on the fact that she's so against my brother, who is agnostic, and his wife is atheist. And that kind of goes into the whole this is a totally separate issue than the one that I have to deal with, but because she's against gay people, which of course, there are people in our community that I hate to see that they don't accept them, but at the same time excited because I see that our community, more than any other, seems to be very, very open to the gay and transsexual and alternative lifestyle. I don't know all of the people that are involved. I know that there are pansexual witches. I know that there are bisexual witches. I know that there are transsexual witches. I know that there are gay, lesbian, straight, all of these different genders. There are, non-binary people. I guess there are so many groups, people that witches and pagans fall into. So on the one hand, I'm happy to see that I'm part of a group of people that are, for the most part, I think a bit more accepting, and welcoming even, especially with, there are gods and goddesses that don't even really, that have female and male qualities, and even none. Some people don't think they have either. And you don't really get that with the typical Judeo-Christian religions, which tend to be very, very, well, I think you know, guys, they're very mean. They're not accepting at all. But anyway, so my mother's she's very against gay people, and because she believes that, according to her Bible, that they shouldn't exist, that being gay is wrong, because that's what her book tells her. And being of the mind that I have, I completely disagree, for one. And even if I didn't disagree, I would believe that they have rights that are different than, that have to do nothing to do with religion at all. Like, this is not a Christian country. I'm sorry, this is a country based on freedom of religion, and freedom from religion, which essentially means that, you being Christian should have nothing to do with me being pagan, and you being straight and Christian should have nothing to do with someone being bi or gay or transsexual or anything that has to do with being anything but straight and binary. Like I said, she's religious in the sense that she's extremely, she's not even extremely anti-gay, she's just extremely religious. And I can understand why that's hard for her, because we have gay people in our family, and she loves them and accepts them, but she finds it difficult to do that. And I've never found it difficult to do that. But at the same time, it just becomes more and more clear to me that, and also just through conversations with her that I've had about, dabbling with different things and not agreeing with her beliefs, and she knows I'm not a Christian. She knows that I have other beliefs, and she knows that she would call me very nature-y, even though that might not be completely accurate. It's closer to the truth than she really realizes. But because of, the backlash that I experienced, that my brother got and his wife got, for disagreeing with her beliefs, because, they want her to step away from religion that takes away from the rights of others. And I'm not saying that she's bad in any way. I'm not saying that I love my mother. I know lots of Christian people that I absolutely love. I know lots of Catholics. I know lots of la-di-da-da-da. I'm not saying anything against them. I need to make that clear, because I believe everybody has the right to follow the religion that is right for them. It's not right for me, but it's right for them. My brother is a little on the extreme side of being against that. He thinks that just because one part of her religion doesn't fit into the rest of her life, she should run away from it. And in some respects that's true, because her religion really kind of is against a group of people and she should step away from that. But on the same hand, she has every right to believe what she wants to. And those two, kind of clashing on this vacation about this, made me think about, I'm never really going to tell my mom. Never really tell her the truth. Not because I'm ashamed, but because I don't want to upset her, in the sense that I don't want her to make her feel that I'm trying really hard to be against her religion, because he kind of made her feel like, she was being attacked, and I don't want her to make her feel that way. Therefore, I am a little bit in, a little bit out of the closet, and I am perfectly happy with this continually transition for me. And I will also add that my mom knows more about my past than she knows about me today. She knows that when I was younger, in my teens, that I started out with Wicca. And she clearly doesn't like it. When this came out that I didn't know she knew, but she did know, I kind of brushed it off and was like, oh, well, she just knows what things were like back then, and things aren't the same now. I'm not affiliated with anything. I'm kind of separate. It's my own beliefs. Sometimes I work with deities, sometimes I don't. Most honestly, majority of the time I don't. And I admit that openly, that I do have pantheons that I believe in, but I particularly do not work with anyone right now. in specific, like any one specific. Right now it's more of just tapping into my own energy and energy of the earth, because that was my goal for 2016 and I've been working on that. But based on her not too warm welcome to him and not too warm welcome to the past me, I'm going to stay in the closet for her and remain out of the closet for everybody else. So that's part 1. That was the first question for week 2. So now week 3 was, do you have an altar or sacred space? And yes, I do. I think I've done a couple videos. I haven't done one recently because I've been making constant changes and I haven't really wanted to share. Not because I don't love doing altar tours, but because currently mine is in a state of chaos, and that's actually going to be changing because of some of the things I picked up in California, and a couple of things that I'm going to be getting to go along with it. So it's in a state of transition, therefore I haven't shown it to you guys in months. And to be completely honest, I did not do much changeover between well, I did some for Samhain, but I didn't do a lot after that. It hasn't really had anything that it was worth showing to you guys. It's kind of been the same thing, kind of the same setup, a couple different candles here and there. But when I'm happy with the changes I've made, I will definitely do a video for you guys. Just like I did for the other ones. They were mostly there because I was like, hey, I think what I've set up for my altar is pretty damn cool. So let me show you. But until I feel that way again, you probably won't see one. Probably going to be a couple weeks. Imbolc just passed, and therefore I should have done something then, but I didn't really have anything that great. I did celebrate with cheese and crackers and a couple offerings and a couple things, but nothing too fancy. Because I came back on the day that I was going to celebrate and was jet lagged and tired. The next day I had to run into work. So, to make a long story short, I do maintain a sacred space. I do maintain my altar. And I also don't necessarily spend a lot of time in front of it. Some people make their altar their main kind of like a beacon in a way that makes them their center. It's where they do everything in front of it. They take everything off of it to do things with, and I don't really do that. I actually use the space I'm in right now to film when I do any sort of ritual or if I do any spells, which honestly I don't do a lot lately. And I've been honestly not working on that as much. That I haven't felt like I needed to do anything that special or fancy, but there are things coming up that I will for 2016 that I will of course do ritual for, and I will of course do some spells and whatnot, but right now I'm just channeling energy I'm trying to build up because I've been feeling very down, and part of that is because of the trip, and part of that is because of things going on with work, but anywho, good to be back with you guys. I hope that, like the intention of this challenge, that you get to learn a little bit more about me, and it really has been a challenge, and it's kind of sad because we're a couple weeks behind, almost 3 weeks. I think I'm behind a lot now, but it certainly has been a challenge to find a time to make these videos, and I'm going to do my best to make the next few be on time, hopefully, but like I said, we'll see. Anyway, I'll see you later, guys. Have a good night. Blessed be.